Hey there guys, Aldershot here. I want to talk about Electronic Superjoy today. If you haven't heard of Electronic Superjoy, it's a very high-octane platformer that features really awesome music. So, as you can tell, the music is very electronica. It's a little bit clubby, I guess you can say. But it's arranged very, very nice. It is has a very enjoyable soundtrack. And it actually kind of, helps with the gameplay quite a bit. Keeps the old heart pumping and all that. So let's get right into it. Alright, so being a platformer, you can play this with a keyboard and mouse, and it does allow you to rebind the controls, so that's really nice, because the default arrow keys for most PC's platforming games, that scheme is kind of bullshit, to be honest. I hate using the arrow keys to control anything. Okay, it's just weird. So you can rebind it, which is nice to see. We'll check out the options a little bit. I am, however, using the Xbox controller, because even with the rebinding ability, let's get out of this. Even with the rebinding ability, I still much rather play platformers with a controller. It just feels a lot more natural. Plus, can you imagine playing Mario with a keyboard and mouse? I mean, I'm sure some of you have done it, and probably done it just as fine as with a controller. But for me, platformers have always been a controller type of genre. So you can adjust the audio settings, which I have for the sake of this recording. You can rebind the controls, as discussed earlier. You can reset the binding. What's new? I don't see. Okay, you can adjust the resolution and full screen or not, and frame limit on or off. So pretty limited in the visual options, but that's okay because this has a very simple aesthetic to it, as you can see. So let's get right into it. We're going to skip the tutorial and go right into level 2. Alright, so if you played Super Meat Boy, which I'm sure many of you have, this game's a little reminiscent of Super Meat Boy in that it's a skill-based platformer. Okay, you're gonna die quite a bit when you first play it, but the controls are exceptional. They're very, very responsive. Your character moves the way that you expect them to move, and your input has a lot of control, which is nice to see. Oops, I gotta remember that's an enemy. For a game like this, having tight controls that work the way you think it should work is very important, okay? So, besides the whole control thing, I like the aesthetics as well, I gotta say. It's very, very simple in its design. It's a very interesting meld of vector-based design with a lot of pixel art tropes. But as you can see, it's kept, like, details is kept to a minimum. Everything that you need to enjoy the game aesthetically is there. There's no like super high detail illustrations or anything like that, and that's fine. I'm actually a big fan of simple design. This game is a prime example of great simple design put into practice. Alright, so we're on level 3. The game does slowly teach you new mechanics and how to play the game per level, which is good because, like I said, this game can get pretty challenging, so learning things with baby steps is always a good thing. Oh, I totally failed there. This game also features an interesting sense of humor. You can probably tell just by the name, Electronic Superjoy. And it's a little bit raunchy, as every time you die you can hear a woman or a dude kind of moaning in pleasurable agony. You know what I mean. So it does, have a bit of a raunchy humor to it. You'll get a sense of that as you play through the game, and you read some of the NPC's commentary as well. You'll really start to see some of the humor. Your first boss you fight is actually like a pope in a flying saucer, so so that's kind of interesting. So yeah, the aesthetics is nice, the audio's nice. I like the the humor involved. The game overall is actually a lot of fun, okay? It's, again, if you enjoy Super Meat Boy or platforming in general, there's no reason why you wouldn't like Electronic Superjoy. It's, it actually, like for a platformer, it functions extremely, extremely well. And also the level design is fantastic as well. It throws a lot of really interesting kind of gimmicks. Like this level here is really cool. It really plays on you know, the sense of light and darkness, and actually involves it into the actual mechanics of the level itself, which I found to be very, very creative. Each one of these little strobe lights here are placed very strategically, so it can highlight platforms, but of course when the strobe fades off of it, you don't see it, so you kind of have to sort of remember where you last saw the platform. Okay, so that's pretty cool and kind of interesting. But anyone who suffers from epilepsy or seizures, I apologize. You're probably having a bit of a hard time watching this level right now. And yeah, this game certainly does not shy away from causing seizures sometimes. There's a lot of stuff that goes on the screen sometimes, and yeah, and get a little bit daunting. Now I'm doing really well because I've played through all these levels before, but the higher up the levels get, the more difficult it becomes, obviously. More things to, you know, factor in. Like these teleport things are pretty interesting when I first learned about it. Oh, I should have got the star, but too late. That's okay, that's okay. So yeah, fun game, I gotta say. I love the aesthetic design, as I mentioned. Great music overall. Very tight controls. I really don't got anything bad to say about it, to be completely honest. Well, every now and then, I guess, like, even though I really like the aesthetics, sometimes it can become a minor problem. Oh, shit. Okay, like, for example, as you can see, this game uses whites a lot. And that's because it's using it to contrast, you know, the dark foreground, okay? Unfortunately, like when I first fought against the Pope, the first boss of this game, his laser beam that shoots down is white, and all the rockets that he shoots also has a trail of white, and a whole bunch of other stuff that's white. So it really, you know, like, it makes it difficult to separate what's important to keep an eye on and what's not, because everything is white as far as like certain effects go. And that's a bit annoying. I'll show you that after this level, actually, the first boss. It was actually kind of a pain in the ass. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I enjoy the game quite a bit. It's not an overly long game. There's like multiple worlds. I think there's like 5, I believe. We'll check that out after this. Actually, let's get out of this now. So how many worlds are there? 2. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's get out of here again. 3. As obviously, okay, there's 4 worlds. Plus, looks like there's some bonuses going on there too. But you know, the game's not really about length. It's all about quality over quantity. Okay, and the game's not that expensive to begin with, anyways. At full price is $8. And oftentimes you can get it on Steam sales for $2 to $3, so it's really, really cheap game. And the game's actually a lot of fun for its price, I gotta say. But let's check out the first boss then, so I can show you what I'm talking about as far as certain like visual cues that can become an issue. There's the, oh, whoops, right there, that white line there, like it just, I don't know, I'm thinking it should be red or something else, because, you know, it just kind of fades in. It doesn't really seem like something that's really that important. You touch it and then you die. And then you realize the mistake that you've made. Oh, yeah. So it looks like I gotta play through this level before I actually can reach the boss. That's okay. So, as you can see, I'm also doing this, like, kind of bum slam, I guess you can call it. Oh, my. And that's basically your attack, and as you play through the game you'll get that ability. And there's rockets shooting at you, and you hit them, they die. You get hit once, you die, just like Super Meat Boy. And you kind of want to take care of the rockets when you have the opportunity to, although you can run away from it pretty easily all the same. Just like that. Try to get rid of some of these while we're... Oh, we done died. So like I said, music's pretty good. I'll give you a chance to listen to some of it. Pretty cool, eh? I really dig it, I gotta say. It's definitely one of the main features of the game. It's probably one of the biggest draws, you know. A lot of people... Well, I mean, platforming is not exactly a hard genre to find these days, but a platformer with awesome audio can be. And this game definitely fills that void. This is like something that you would get in like a club or something like that. Oh my. Something else about the game as well, if you fall off the screen, especially if it's scrolling either sideways or upwards, you do die, so you don't want to do that either. Are we at the boss yet? Okay, we think we're getting close to it. Oh. Yeah, there's also a restart button if you happen to fail an important part, which is kind of good. Below Krill featured a similar mechanic as well, and I covered that game earlier in my YouTube career, I guess you can say.
Yes.
I think I'm actually kind of far away from the boss. That's okay, we'll play through some levels so I can show you guys what this game's all about. Oh, so as you can see, this game requires a lot of like tight jumping, you know. Really gotta watch out where you're landing and how you approach your jumps. That's really important to progress through the game. And maximizing your double jump certainly will be important, unlike what I just did there. Whoops! This game actually has a really large soundtrack as well. There's a lot of songs in this little game, which is good because it's certainly one of the biggest features of the game, so they really should make it... Oh, damn it. They really should make it prominent, and that they have done, which is nice to see. This is definitely one of my most favorite... oh, crap. One of my most favorite platform games of the year, of last year, I should say. And the creator has actually released a DLC where, you know, you get bonus levels, and you can also get the soundtrack off of Steam as well, which I think a lot of people would be interested in, considering its high quality. Oh my. Some of these jumps are pretty difficult. Another nice thing about this game is that it doesn't have a lot of cheap deaths. Every time I die, which I do die a lot, which I'm sure you will as well if you do get into it, is that every time I can see where I went wrong. I can tell what I did wrong. It's completely my fault. So that's actually a sign of good design. There's not a lot of cheap deaths that's out of my control. You know, any deaths, I can totally see how it's my fault. Now, I can only make that friggin' jump. Oh my. This is not working out in my favor whatsoever. I don't actually play a whole lot of platformers. Every now and then I do. Below Krill was definitely something I indulged in quite a bit when I first got into it. To be honest, I never really played a lot of Super Meat Boy, So this game, I kind of like this game a bit more than Super Meat Boy. I know it might be blasphemous for me to say that, considering how important Super Meat Boy and how influential Super Meat Boy is to the indie scene. But nonetheless, you know, I'm just being honest. I do enjoy this game more than Super Meat Boy. It's just as punishing as Super Meat Boy, but I don't know. I guess I like the music a whole lot. I really love the aesthetic appeal of this game. Super Meat Boy looks wonderful as well, though. Don't get me wrong. But this game's a little bit more unique in its aesthetics anyways. Ah, damn it! I was so close! Yes, this game will frustrate you sometimes. Even though I did state that it doesn't have a lot of cheap deaths, that doesn't mean you can't be pissed off at yourself for dying. No! Come on! Yes! Super tight jumps. Yes! Oh my, what do I do here? Okay, I gotta do... Oh, damn it! I see what I have to do there. Come on! Oh my god! The timing for that is so ridiculous. You got like a millisecond's chance to do it. I got this, folks. I got this. Don't you worry. Ugh! Well, at least the music's good. Yes! Success! Oh my, look at this. A little bit of timing there. Oh my. When I first played this game, I was so mesmerized by the music itself. It's really, really good, I gotta say. Very, very enjoyable. I don't know who the composer is, but good job, man. Good job. Excellent job. This game should win a lot of best soundtrack of the year, but, you know, it didn't. Probably because it's indie and doesn't get the recognition that it deserves. 'Tis the way of the world. I'm sure there's some indie sites and some indie YouTubers have probably awarded this game best soundtrack. And for good reason if they did. I should probably look that up, actually. Yes. But this is far from an unknown game all the same. There's a lot of Let's Plays of this game, and it's a bit of a cult favorite as far as Steam and PC game culture is concerned. And again, for good reason. This game is very enjoyable. The controls are so exceptionally tight. The soundtrack is fantastic. Really unique visual stylings that I totally dig. Fun mechanics, great level design. There's a whole bunch of things to like about this game, to be honest. And a really cheap price tag, which is, you know, basically tops it all off. Oh, what do I do here? What do I do here? Oh, I see. I think I see. Oh, I see. Okay, this is interesting. So I gotta jump like that. Oh, that's cool. Oh man. Oh my god. Like I said, you can totally see where you go wrong. It doesn't take long to realize where you might have died and how you died. The trick is learning how to overcome the obstacle, though. And as mentioned a few times already, the game is certainly, you know, not without its challenge. But anyone who's into platforming generally likes a good challenge, alright? That's how I find most of the platform community is anyways. They're mostly skill-based players, and I certainly appreciate that. I really do. Because skill-based players recognize good mechanics, and that's very important as a gamer. To be able to tell what's a good mechanic and what's not. And when you're doing terrible and when you're not doing terrible. I'm doing pretty terrible right now, so I apologize for that. This is kind of tough. Oh, man. You know what? I think I'm going to end it here. I think you guys get the idea. So this is Electronic Super Joy. This is Aldershot. And, you know, if you enjoy what you saw, you found this informative or useful in any way, please help me grow. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Most importantly, subscribe. Feed me my vegetables and help me grow. Thanks, guys. Aldershot out.